With your host, Knotty Karate.
Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
And a rotating roundtable of awesomeness.
Go switch off.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes InDepth.com podcast.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome to another SwGoH podcast. Tonight we have a very special episode for you.
Wait a second, that's not Naughty Karate. Who's that?
A girl can try, right?
Abby, that sounds a lot like Anahata. What do you think?
I agree. It sure isn't Knotty. And I did get a message that Knotty is rather under the weather right now, so he won't be joining us this podcast.
Right. So this is Nukin, of course, and welcome to another SwGoH In-Depth podcast. I'll be hosting and taking over for Knotty, who will be with us in spirit. This is episode 40, so a nice little milestone, and we have a brand new comer to the podcast. We have the lovely Anahata. How are you doing tonight?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, Anna is a great contributor. She's been listening to the podcast silently. We have Jujitsu Jedi and Zeppers in the background listening in right now. And Anna's been kind of poking in and seeing what's going on. And this is the first time she's actually contributing. So we're glad to have you here on the podcast. And also we have, besides myself, we have the lovely Avinash as well. How are you doing, Avi?
I am doing just fine. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And so I haven't hosted a podcast in like over a year. So let's see how this goes. What are you guys drinking tonight? Avi, I think you were saying you were mixing a few stuff. What were you drinking and what are you drinking right now? I don't even know. Let the viewers know what you're drinking.
I'm drinking some blush wine with a bit of champagne in it to give it that extra little bubbliness.
Bubbly. What are you drinking, Anna?
I am drinking some ginger pear tea, some, hot green tea.
Some hot green tea. And that's
herbal tea, yeah.
Any caffeine in there, or is that herbal?
It's an herbal tea.
Herbal tea. All right, so someone wants to go to bed probably after this. We're recording on Black Friday, 10 or 11 p.m., depending on where you're at. So I'm drinking some caffeinated drinks over here. I have some coffee, and I might get into maybe a little bit of rum and Coke or something like that towards the end. But yes, let's get right into the news and then talk about some of the stuff that we want to talk about. So this is going to be an awesome episode. Sit back and enjoy. So some brief news. We've gotten some new characters like Fallen Bastila and Ordo. Got a new ship. Anakin's now a pilot. He's got the ETA-5. He's a starfighter pilot. Very good ship. We'll be talking about that. We had some new farming locations added to the game. We have Hound's Tooth, the best tank in the game, in my opinion, ship-wise. Go on to Lightside Hard Nodes 8D, or a Sing, the great bounty hunter that kicks booty in Phase 3 of the Heroic Sith Raid, is now farmable on Cantina Level 7. And so that's going to be very nice to grind up some of those characters. Finally, they're not so premium. We also got the Road Ahead blog post. Finally, usually we get it in the first week of the quarter, and we got it this month in November. Lots of stuff to talk about on that. We'll be mainly focusing on the Grand Arena. So that's enough of the news. We'll talk about basically that and more for the rest of the podcast. First off, Anna, our last episode was Revan Disrobed, and that was, I think we recorded that podcast on the very last day of the event, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I think I unlocked Revan on the last 5 minutes of that event, actually. So I think everyone here got Revan. I think Abby got Revan multiple times with her accounts.
Multiple accounts.
Yeah. So Anna, take it away. Let's follow up on Revan and let us know, did you unlock Revan? How are you using Revan? What's going on in your arena shard? Let's hear about your follow-up on your thoughts on Revan.
Personally, I love Revan. I think a lot of people are upset if they weren't able to unlock him, but he's definitely worth it. If you're farming for the next time, continue to do so. I still see other teams out there for the people who weren't able to unlock Revan. I see a lot of Treya in my shard still. I see some EP lead, and we even have a guy who's running Mother Talzin lead with, the other Night Sisters. I think it has changed the arena a bit. For me personally, it makes it easier to run through arena. It's easier for me to do auto through arena.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So it's easier to auto for sure. What team are you running?
Right now, I am running Revan, Bastila, Jolie, Grandmaster Yoda, and General Kenobi. I have all 3 Zetas on Revan, on Grandmaster Yoda, and on Jolie Bindo. And I generally don't have too much of an issue with this team. It is the one team I actually do have a hard time running against. There are easier Revan comps out there to beat, I think. If Jolie is not in there or General Kenobi is not in there, they're a little bit easier. But this is, I think, what I've had the most success with.
How about you, Abby? What are you seeing in your different shards? How many Revans did you unlock on all your accounts?
I unlocked all 3 of them.
All right, so you have 3 Revans on 3 different accounts.
Yeah, 3 maxed Revans.
Impressive. And how are you doing in arena?
I'm actually doing pretty well. Don't always sit at the top because I'm running 3 accounts and everything else in my life. So I generally sit around somewhere in the top 10 and sometimes down to about in the 20s lately. But anytime I want to move up, it's a cakewalk. Actually, I run Revan, Grandmaster Yoda, Jolie, Bastila, and Nest.
You're running Nest with your Revan?
I'm running Nest with my Revan.
On every team or just one account?
Just on one account. On my largest account, I'm doing that because I've run across a lot of very tanky Scions and Nihilus.
Interesting.
Yeah, it helps me put some debuffs on them and knock them silly a little bit so I can take them down a little bit easier.
Interesting. Yeah, that is a good point that you mentioned, how the Treya teams have kind of changed a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how have they changed? So, was it the modding or is it because people are, or is it more Palp leads or is it still Treya leads? What's going on there?
I think it's the Palp lead, and I think people are also modding their Treya, their Scion, and their Nihilus to be a little bit more tanky so that the Revan isn't maybe able to take them out in that first time after they're marked.
Yep. I'm seeing a lot of tankier Treyas, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. Every Treya I've gone up against is super, super tanky. But once I, get that mark on her, she goes down like a paperweight, and that's about it. And then I just stick it on auto and clean up the rest of it.
That's it. I do the same thing. Even when I do mirrors, as long as I get my marks where I want them, auto.
Do you see any dark side Bastila Fallens in your shard at the moment?
A few.
A few?
Yeah.
I have not seen one yet.
Okay. There's a few on my shard, and we'll definitely be talking about her later on in the podcast. Just one is wondering if you guys had any. I think that she is interesting, and I'm excited to talk about her later. So very cool. I also unlocked Revan, of course, and this is the first time running a light side arena team for, I don't know, it's been over a year now. Feels dirty. I just pretend that that's Darth Revan, who's cosplaying at Comic-Con as a Jedi Revan, or as a Jedi. So it's really just Darth Revan. It's okay.
Well, I know you put it off until the last minute, and you gave us all a heart attack.
Seriously.
We were going to get it because we were, you were live streaming it.
I'm glad that I got him.
5 minutes before it was over, you're like, la, 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 la. Okay.
Right.
Gone.
I was kind of, I was a little indifferent about getting him until the very end. And that's because it was a little controversial. We had just finished a podcast, and I don't know. I'm glad that I got him. You guys pushed me to getting him. I think I wouldn't have gotten him if you guys weren't there to remind me to do it. Okay, so enough about Revan follow-up. Now let's get into some juicier stuff that's more recent. So this month we've had, for the first time, some craziness bonuses in TW, right? So what characters have had these bonuses, and did you end up using any of these different characters or heroes? Avi, take it away. Let us know what you think about. Did you like the bonuses? Did you hate it? Avi, what do you think about these Territory War November craziness bonuses?
I actually like it. I'm not sure if I like exactly what they gave each of those 4 characters, but the fact that they spiced TW up, made it a little bit more exciting, because TW was getting, to me, extremely stale, because you're up against the same thing every single time. There's a trade team. Let's go do that. There's this. Got to do that. So by the fact that they took 4 characters and gave them superpowers, made it very nice. And it also allowed people, even both in high GP and low GP, to use these characters in ways that they were never used before.
Mm-hmm.
And those 4 characters were Dooku, Grievous, Windu, and Cup. And it's 2 girls, 1 Nuki right now. Which characters did you end up using? Usually for defense, I use Dooku or Windu.
Is it Doku or Dooku? I don't know how to.
I always say Dooku. It's just
Doko.
It's if it was like Japanese, it'd be Dooku, but
Dooku.
Hey,
Dooku.
But
oh man,
it seemed to work, and a lot of times people would like put Dooku on a Traya team or a Sith team to kind of help them out, because he had some definite Force lightning to give some extra damage and ignore some protection there.
I think it had some shock synergy. So, and
yes, that was
Fallen Bastila has shock too. Mm-hmm. So he might be more relevant this upcoming TW cycle. So it'll be interesting.
Very interesting to put both of them together and see what people come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Cup, he got some nice little OP talents. Nothing spectacular, I think, but he does do some significant damage to scoundrels.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
On that. And Grievous, he's still lame. He's still fairly lame. no matter what you do with him, that he just doesn't cut the mustard,
Does he cut the mayonnaise?
Who knows? He might cut the mayonnaise.
Does he cut the cheese?
Yes.
I don't want him to cut the cheese.
Stinky Grievous.
Stinky cheese. So anyway, Grievous, with the talents that he got, is more like the tank raid.
Mm-hmm.
Grievous. So other than that, I put him on defense. It didn't do anything. I've put him on offense. It did better on offense than defense, which was okay. But I had to go up against like B or C teams, not anything meta, because it just was a waste of tunes.
Gotcha.
Windu, however, was the mega OP that everybody really enjoyed, and you can put him on defense or offense. And I've used him on both. On defense, he really creates a nice wall, especially if you put him with Revan.
Okay.
And even on Bastila, it works okay, but it just seemed to really work well with Revan, and nobody could get through our Revan walls in TW with that. So
Right.
It was pretty exciting with that. And I used him in offense on a couple accounts, and I actually put him in there by himself. And
on offense, you sent in Windu
on offense, all by himself against an EP led Sith team.
Oh, okay. There was Treya on there?
On one of them, Treya was. On one of them, Treya was not.
And he was successful against both?
He was successful against both.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. Anna, what about you? What did you think about this? Well, it's still going. We got one more cycle right in November. What do you think about all these crazy bonuses?
I definitely think they're interesting. I have been throwing my mace on my Revan squad, and I have been just kind of having fun with the other tunes, seeing what they can do. Nothing too crazy. I'm not too excited about them.
Really?
Nope. Not too excited. And I believe that Cup is the next meta.
What would make you more excited? Do you want Cup to be even stronger? Do you want a different character to have a bonus?
I just want more synergy, I think.
Oh, okay. You want some crazy faction bonuses.
I think so.
So your Cup didn't runneth over.
No, it did not.
Okay.
Well, my Cup was gear 8 and he was doing 40,000 plus damage, so I like that.
Yeah.
Let's see, what if you guys, so overall, would you like this to be a reoccurring thing? What do you think?
I honestly think that it would be great if there was a variety like this, to pick like 2 to 4 tunes that had some special abilities, because I think it really makes TW a little more variety, and it really kind of makes you think on what you need to do with teams.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I was really excited about doing it this month.
Do you want this to be an every month thing or every few months?
I think that what they should do is very different aspects of TW, not necessarily take a tune each and every month and do it, but definitely more frequently, maybe every other month or every 2 or 3 months. Yeah. What
do you think, Anna?
I think that it definitely adds a little spice to the game.
Spicy.
You can't.
Spicy. Oh, I just did that. Spicy.
Yeah, spicy. Yeah, you have to think about it a little bit more when you're going into a battle. Oh, wait, there's this bonus on this tune. Oh, wait, there's a bonus on this tune. How exactly does it correlate with the squad that I have going in against them? And it does. It makes you think a little bit harder. And I think that changing it up every month might be a little bit excessive, but I think that changing it regularly, maybe every couple months, quarterly, something along those lines, might be a little better.
Okay. And if you guys could rank in order of the strongest to weakest out of the 4, it was again Grievous, Windu, Cup, and Dooku or Dooku. Dooku. Well, I'm gonna call him Dooku. How would you rank them in order from strongest to least strongest or weakest? What do you think, Abby?
I would rank it from strongest Windu, then Dooku, then I'm going to say Cup, and then Grievous.
What do you think, Anna?
I would probably rate just about the same.
All right. I think that Windu was the strongest, and I think Dooku will be better, but he'll still end up being either the worst or second to worst. And I think I like Cup being second. And that's because bounty hunters are scoundrels, and there's a lot of scoundrels already, and they're being used all over the place for defense. And even if it's not a full scoundrel team, there's a lot of scoundrel characters.
Mm-hmm.
And so Cup seems to have some nice value. I think that I like these bonuses. I miss there being faction bonuses, and I hope those return on top of these crazy, single individual character bonuses.
I agree with that.
I think that the faction bonuses, if they return, which I think they will, should be a little bit stronger than what they were before. They weren't just, I don't want them to be like as strong as, Windu, but stronger than what they had. I think Scoundrels were like 20% critical chance or something like that. Big whoop. I want something like crazy, like Imperial Grand Maneuver 2.0 or something. I don't know. And I would like this to be an every month thing, or at least every other month. I think that'd be pretty cool. Spice things up. All right, very nice. So let's now go into the road ahead. All right, so there was a lot of information dropped. They talked about, some quality of life stuff. They talked about the 3-year anniversary. They talked about Grand Arena, a brand new mode. Let's kind of just break it down. So first off, let's talk about the Grand Arena. So what is the Grand Arena? Well, it's not here yet, but to remind everyone, the Road Ahead blog post is a quarterly post. So it means, unless something goes terribly wrong, it should launch sometime this quarter, right? So the quarter ends at the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. So Grand Arena is basically going to be a 1v1 territory war tournament style, 8-person mini tournament style 1v1 TW. So what does that mean? So there's going to be 3 rounds, and you do your offense and your defense, and you face one other person 1v1, and then depending on if you win or you lose, you'll end up facing in the next round someone else that had the same record as you. So if you won the first match, you'll also face off in the next round someone that won their match in that group of 8, or if you lost, you'll face someone that's 0-1 just like yourself, etc. So it's like an 8-person mini tournament, but they're all 1v1 TW, and you'll be matched with players of similar GP. So that's interesting. We'll see how that works out. And the rewards are going to be based off your win-loss record at the end. And I think after every match, you'll also get a little bit of rewards along the way. I think they'll do it kind of like how Territory Battles is now, how you'll get a little bit of currency or something, shards maybe, and at the end you get the big loot box or whatnot. So that's Grand Arena. What do you think about that? Are you excited for this type of mode, Avi? Or you're not? Tell us why.
We already deal with a guild TW, which also is kind of, can be taxing and takes up a lot of time. 1v1 TW is, to me, maybe I'll change my mind once I get in there. But then again, it's going to be optional. So it's not like something I have to play. I'm sure I want to be able to opt out if I want to. But I don't know. It's just another battle that I have to do, and it's time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll change my mind, but we'll see.
Okay, so initially you're not so excited about it.
No.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Anna?
Personally, I'm a little excited. I think that it's going to be interesting to see how people are going to go 1v1.
Mm-hmm. What happens? So Avi has, what's your GP, Anna?
Right now, it's almost 4.5 mil.
Oh, and I'm around 4 or 5, and Avi's around 4 or 5.
I'm at 4.66. So
we could all face each other. You
guys.
We could all face each other. So, what happens if all 3 of us are in the same group of 8?
You're gonna die.
I'm gonna die? Ooh,
obviously,
okay.
Man, I'm gonna kick your butt.
So the women are going to come out on top, obviously. There's going to magically be 2 spots on top just for us.
Yep.
Interesting. All right, bold words. No. We'll see what happens there. I think that
we're taking you down.
I'll be surprised if that happens, but we'll see.
Oh, you
We
will
shall
be surprised, all right.
Anything can happen.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I like territory wars, so I'm definitely excited for this.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. It's a new
Yeah.
gameplay.
There might be some curveballs in there as well. You never know. I wonder if they'll keep the same sort of bonuses in the guild TW, and if it'll cross over in the 1v1 Grand Arena TW. For example, this month is Windu. Assuming that Grand Arena was out right now, would Windu also be super strong in Grand Arena at the same time? That'll be interesting.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, then maybe, guilds out there that didn't go and try as hard as they could, become more active and competitive in the guild TW. Maybe that transfers over. So who knows? That'll be interesting.
Like you said, it does spice it up. So, it might turn me around and wanting to play a little bit more 1v1 if they spice it up with some extra doohickeys.
It sounded like if you faced me, you would definitely be interested.
Definitely, because you'll go down. That's just all there is to it. So,
okay, I don't think so.
Well, to be completely honest, I think that we are all more interested in a battle when we know the people on the other side.
Oh yeah,
right. It's always fun to face someone that you know for sure. Let's keep going on. There's more, of course, to talk about in the road ahead. Player-controlled payout and time zone changes. So this is interesting. So for the first time ever, the players are going to be able to change their payout, which is a huge quality of life feature. One of the biggest things that was very frustrating and annoying for some players was that they had to be active around a time that was inconvenient for them, whether they were commuting or working or having dinner. Everyone needed to be doing their arena at, 5 or 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., which is not always the best time for some people. So now you could have changed your payout before, but now it's going to be even easier than ever. And I think you can change it 2 times per year on your own. So without even having to contact support, which we all know is hit or miss. So that's going to be interesting. I wonder if it's going to have any impact on the game in the long term. And I know a lot of people are in shard chats. I wonder how that's going to impact shard chats. Are you guys thinking about changing your payout?
I might hold off until I see what everybody else does. Because I've got 6 different shard chats that I'm in. So 6?
Oh.
So trying to keep track of all of them is really difficult, and I have all different payouts. So my payout is like 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. One of them is 6 o'clock and one is 8 o'clock.
Do you think it'd be easier for you if you change them to be more, all on the same time, or?
Well, then I wouldn't be able to play all 4 of them.
Maybe you just need more devices.
I do actually. I have like 4 or 5 different devices that I can use, but at the same time, the 2 in the afternoon, the 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, that's right in the middle of just before like guild reset. That's in the middle of when 600 tickets are done, and everybody knows that it's not always easy to herd whales to get to do what you want them to do. Mm-hmm. So, it would just be really nice not to bounce back and forth between trying to do arena and trying to take care of guildy stuff.
Right.
Later in the afternoon or evening would be great, possibly even really late at night. That's when I can really settle down and do more of the game.
I'm leaning on changing it to be later as well, but we'll see what happens. I'm not going to do anything immediately, that's for sure. But that's a nice feature for some people. What else? Oh, go ahead.
Can you change the fleet and the arena or the
I get it.
Can you do them separately?
I'm not sure. I think they might be connected, but
you would have to be able to do them separately. Yeah.
I love the time for my fleet, but
I
For
don't
my
know.
squad arena, there are at least 15 people in our payout.
I've
I
got
mean,
14.
I'm
in one of them,
lucky.
yeah.
I'm lucky to get top 5 every day, but some days it's a bloodbath and everyone's jumping over everyone. And
I
I
have
give
a
everybody
feeling-
cookies on my way up. So I
have a
do.
feeling that they're connected though.
cookies for you.
I think they might be connected. So
Uh,
we'll see. Well, the most crystals are from Squad Arena with the characters. So
yeah.
maybe that'll be the best thing to do.
I'm going to find a payout in the middle of the ocean for that.
Yeah. Well, that's what, 5
Well,
other
probably
people
you'll
do
find
as
out
well.
that 15 other people are thinking the same
Right,
thing.
yeah.
Well, the thing is with the squad or like with the chat, people can at least, the shard chats, people can at least then communicate and hopefully then
Mm-hmm.
split the shard up enough so that there's maybe 2 people on each shard, on each payout, which is a lot better than, personally, my shard is pretty communicative.
Mm-hmm.
They're
I
pretty
think
good
it
at
also
talking.
changes your refresh times too,
That's what I've heard.
and your daily reset. So that's gonna mess with me because I've been playing for 2.5 years, and it'll be very strange not to collect free energy at noon. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we also have a few more things, and we're going to talk about also some of the new toys that we're having. Some original trilogy stuff might be coming out soon this quarter, maybe characters or ships. So that'll be interesting. Of course, we just got the OT original trilogy Chewbacca. And guess what? We don't have a Han Solo and Chewbacca Millennium Falcon. So Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes of Han Solos may turn into Galaxy of Heroes of Millennium Falcons. Maybe. We'll see. Also, we have a 3-year anniversary for this game, which is completely crazy and insane because most mobile games just, they never last this long and they're never as well managed. This is definitely probably one of the best AAA mobile games out there. And so this is coming up on the 3-year anniversary. And I believe tomorrow, from the moment of this recording, we should be getting a bunch of goodies. We're getting 20 Zeta salvage, a bunch of mod salvage, some gear like stun guns and stun cuffs, some Chewie shards. I like that. And some other Traya shards, Kenobi shards, etc. So that's going to be nice. And currently we're experiencing double drops, which is pretty sweet. So that's nice. And lastly, they talked about naughty players. All right. So Anna, tell us a little bit about what they're doing with the players that have been a little bit naughty.
Oh man, there's
And not naughty, naughty.
There are some people doing some not so smart things and
what kind of not so smart things?
They're buying third-party crystals, or otherwise they're not buying crystals from the game itself. And that is something that they can track and they can find out. And if you do it, they will find you and they will ban you. So just, keep it clean. Don't do it.
Right. So they were buying crystals sort of like from third-party vendors for a while. And I think in the past they said that they suspended some accounts, but this is like an outright ban, right? They're
Right.
not going to be able to come back. So,
It's like a year-long investigation and such.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, they've gathered a lot of stuff and figured out how to track it and how to deal with it. So I think it's great.
Yeah, and I don't think this is fake crystals. I think what it is crystals that were from gift cards that were like identity theft, stolen, or dirty money from, I don't know, money laundering or something. So people are getting vaults of crystals for a third of the price and stuff. So that's what was happening if everyone wasn't aware. And so you may notice some people in your arena shards suddenly look like they quit the game. And that's probably, and that's the excuse they might tell you if you were in contact with them, but that probably means that they were banned. So they were naughty.
Yeah, I've seen a few people
Naughty,
suddenly
naughty.
disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I
They
also
just vanish and float up the shard.
Yeah, and I also know that if you have any sort of inclination that someone is cheating via the APK hacks, then you should definitely report them, because CG Lucifer's daddy is the one that this is basically his job, and he looks into every single report. So don't be afraid to report someone that you think is cheating as well. All right. So very good. One last topic to talk about: the new toys. All right. So Avi, what did we get this past month? Let us know. Let the viewers know, and let's break it down.
Oh, we got Fallen Basilisk Canderis Ordo, and we also got the Anakin Starfighter.
All right. So we got some Dark Side Old Republic tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Were these the first ones? I think so, right?
I think it's going to be the first in a long line of more tunes that are going to be coming out on the dark side to kind of counterbalance the light side ones that we received recently.
Light side scam. All right, let's talk about Fallen Basilisk first. I think she came out first as well, or
right.
Oh no, she came out. I think she didn't come out, but let's talk about the characters first. How about that? So Fallen Basilisk. So we already had a Bastila, a light side Bastila.
Right.
Does she look the same? Does she look better? Does she look worse?
It's basically they use the same skin on a different character. They just change like maybe a hair coloring a little bit, or maybe the color of their skin a little bit, depending upon if they're light or dark. And then they can also change the costume to be a little bit darker. Honestly, even though it's the same skin, it does look better when she's in the fallen category.
She does look more attractive.
She does look more attractive.
Hey, Bastila, how you doing?
The one thing that still stands out is she's got that little wiggly combover.
Oh, yes.
I so want to take a paintbrush on on her and just kind of wipe that off. Or move it up a little bit so it's more along her hairline or something.
Question for you girls. All right, Anna and Abby, have you ever done this hairstyle, this weird comb over?
No,
never.
All right, we may have to do.
It will never.
This is a Star Wars movie, because honestly, I've never done like a Ray. I've never done my hair like Scavenger Ray. Where it's like all these little buns down the back of the head. I've never.
Would you ever do?
I've done that along the whole head. So,
would you guys ever do the Fallen or the Bastila comb over?
No, because you'd have to glue it to your forehead for it to stay.
Oh, isn't there like a hair glue or gel or something?
You go one wind gust, and that thing is blowing straight up in the air.
There's probably a product that you could put in there or something.
Probably. Glue or Jello.
Like I said, if you get a gust of wind and you have like gel or something like that and it's stiff, that thing's going to flop around and probably poke somebody in the eye.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, I'll send her to my hairdresser, but I'm going to ask her who gets her clothes, because I like her clothes. I think her style is nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, her style.
She needs to see my hairdresser.
So basically, you wouldn't be caught dead doing that hairstyle.
Nope.
No, absolutely
Interesting.
Not.
Maybe we'll have to do a bet.
I might have to try it, because I've got really, really, really long hair, and I might have to try something like that to see what it would take to look like that.
It's just like the stupid poof, like Snooki.
The poof? Oh, yes.
I just,
So
bouffant is the bouffant hairdo.
The only thing that I can think of is, so as a man, I have to trim my beard. And sometimes when I'm trimming my beard, I'll like trim a goatee or a mustache before getting rid of everything.
Mhm.
And I feel like if I was a girl getting a haircut, I'd just like for like a few hours, I'd troll around and do the fallen Bastila comb over. So if I could do it, you can do it.
I mean, maybe not the comb over, but I do the little pigtails.
You got to do the comb over.
I'll do the hairstyle and the comb over,
comb
and I
over.
will report back and see how well it sticks.
Well, as long as it sticks for a second, that's all it takes for a good photo. Okay. Enough of that. So enough about her art. Okay. Obviously, we have basically confirmed that her hairstyle still is bad. She looks better on the dark side, the best side. Let's talk about her in the game. So, I see a few fallen Bastilas in my arena shard. It seems like they're combining her with the Treya teams. Has anyone faced off against a fallen Bastila yet?
I have.
How'd that go?
Easy. Very easy.
Mode, huh?
Yep. Even there are 2 in my shard who have her at 7-star. And even that, I pretty much just set my Revan on auto, take out Treya, take out Scion, take her out, and just keep going. It really doesn't matter.
What about you, Abby?
I have not only not gone up against her, but I haven't even used her. So,
Oh, you haven't?
no, I have her at 4 stars, gear 11, but she's just kind of sitting there right now until I really do need to test her.
I will say that for free-to-play players who could not unlock Revan, I've heard that Fallen Bastila is pretty much a godsend and helps them get through the arena ranks a lot easier.
Interesting. I think that she's pretty good. And I think that if we want to speculate just a tad, she does work very well with the Sith. And I think that eventually we'll get some more Sith Old Republic characters, like maybe a Malik or a Darth Revan or something else. And that'll be interesting to see how she maybe gains value over time within the game. So very, very, very cool character. And I think also I'm interested to see, like I said earlier, how she pairs up with Palpatine and Dooku in the upcoming TW cycle. So let's move on to the other guy, Canderous Ordo, aka Duke Nukem. He looks kind of like him. I don't really know the lore from the game, but I guess he's, in that game, and he's an Old Republic dark side character. He has some dot synergy. How does this guy's model look? And, is he an attractive fellow? I don't know. What do you think, ladies?
Well, kind of like Bastila, he's got that hairstyle that's a little too perfect for a Mandalorian, I think.
Too perfect?
On that, it's kind of like, and he's going to need a lot of gel to keep that because it's too perfect of a haircut and a hairstyle. Kind of reminds me of something from the 50s when the biker guys, not biker guys, but the guys with the leather jackets and the dark hair and the greasy combs, and they would do a poof.
Yes.
They do a poof in the front. That's what it reminds me of.
Uh-huh.
And his figure itself, it's like, oh, come on. It's, it's a little bit unrealistic and it's not attractive to women. Although I do say looks pretty good in the pants, I guess. In the back section.
What do you mean? Oh, he's got a nice tushy, huh?
He's got
the pants are tight.
The pants are tight. He's got a nice. That's it. But the other, his arms and shoulders and everything else is a little unrealistic because that's the way guys like to draw guys.
Yeah, he does look like he juices.
Yeah,
he juices. By juice, you mean steroids?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
It might be all that, like holding that huge gun, though.
It is a pretty big gun.
Just makes him very unproportionate.
All right. So what we can learn here is huge guns and bicep guns aren't necessarily what women are looking for. Seems like if you want to get into a date with Abby, you got to wear nice pants that show off that you didn't forget leg day on gym day.
Yeah, and the name Canderous
man.
Ordo, I just have this urge to call him Candy.
Oh, really?
I keep thinking cantankerous.
Canderous Ordo is like too long of a name. So Candy or Ordo. Okay. Very nice. And well, he seems to be not as good as Fallen Bastila at the moment.
They always put out one rotten egg or seemingly rotten.
Right. Seemingly rotten egg. But
Seemingly rotten egg. Yeah.
Somebody else could be coming out down the road that he'll have synergy with, and then he'll shine.
Yeah. Just not now.
Man, feels bad to be Ordo.
Yeah, it was just like Mission Vow at one point.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely not an Arena or TW character, that's for sure.
Right.
There's some synergy with, speaking of Mission Vow, he does work with her. There's some dot synergy. Zalbar, Mission Vow, Ordo, maybe Darth Vader, something like that. That might work. And he's an attacker, so you can maybe use him in more than just phase 2, for example. So we'll see. Definitely not probably a priority farm character, though, that's for sure.
Definitely not something to put on defense, but definitely something to try out on offense in TW, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, we got Anakin Starfighter, which probably is...
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I love him.
You love him? Okay, so what star count is your Starfighter, Anna and Avi, starting with Anna?
7.
7? Did you went crazy on this guy?
Yeah, I liked Otto way too much.
Ooh, someone wailed up on Anakin, huh? Interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, let us know what fleet are you using and all that jazz.
Currently, I am using Tarkin Lead with Houndstooth, Anakin, Sunfac right off the bat, with Vader, TIE Reaper, Silencer, and Umbrarian Fighter on reinforcement.
So you're using him in the starting rotation?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And how about you, Abby?
I have one that's at 5 and the other 2 are at 4.
All right.
So I don't run him first, or actually, I really don't run him in reinforcements right now. One of my Anakins needs to be worked on quite a bit because it got kind of squishy and beat up in the ship arena. But I mostly run bugs right at the moment because I've got all of that stuff all maxed out and Gauntlet and all that other stuff. So
you have plans to run him in the near future when he's a little stronger.
I am working on him right now.
Okay, very nice. And when you plan to start using him, which fleet commander are you thinking about running him with?
Actually, I was thinking of Windu.
Windu,
yes.
Yes. I think that's a good idea.
I've heard a lot of people do that. Yeah.
With a few Galactic Republic ships here and there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty nice.
I gotta get my Plo Koon up there, though. Man, he's fallen. He's sad.
He's sad?
He's sad. He's only gear 9, so I need to work on him. Yeah.
He's actually not too bad to gear up. I think.
I can take him up to gear 10 right now, but I've got other things that are a little bit more of a priority.
I had the Mace lead with the Galactic Republic for a day, and people were either just having a lot of fun with it, because I ended up further down than I have ever ended up. Like, I usually wake up and I'm about 5, 6. I woke up and I was at 17. I immediately switched back. I was like, oh my God, panic, switch back.
Was that the first day?
That was the first day I had it, yeah. And everyone's like, oh, we just wanted to try out your fleet. I'm like,
maybe you should try it now since, try it again, see how it goes.
I'd still be the only one in the...
but once they face you, they'll get bored.
Yeah.
Leave you alone, maybe. That'll be interesting to see what goes on there. I have a 4-star Anakin Starfighter right now, and I think that he's better as a reinforcement, but you really want at least 5 stars, right, to get that level 3 reinforcement ability. So I'm not running him yet. I would consider running him with Windu, though, if I could. And if not Windu, then maybe Chimera or something like that. And I think that he's a great ship, and I'm liking that Windu actually is having some ships that work with him, because Windu was doing absolutely nothing since Ships 2.0 came out, pretty much. And ever since Houndstooth came out, and now Anakin Starfighter, even Windu can compete competitively in the fleet arena. So that's nice. Now everyone kind of can, do their own thing. So that's going to be cool. And I think that there's going to be more Galactic Republic ships potentially coming out in the future as well. General Kenobi might get a ship. There's definitely some other ships out there that could get something. And maybe you can do a full Galactic Republic fleet one day or something like that. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes down.
It'll be nice to have a variety, a bigger selection of ships.
Definitely.
Right now it's pretty tight, because when you're like in TW or whatever, you really have to think about what ships to put with what capital ships. There's not a whole lot left over.
I think that the bounty hunter ships are so strong right now that and because what's the ship? XB, Xanadu Blood, should be grindable soon.
Oh, I've got that.
We might see a lot more bounty hunter fleets come out of the woodworks, and that also pairs nicely with Windu as well. So, maybe you can get by with a 3 or 4 star Anakin Starfighter as well. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes too. Definitely need to take your pilot Anakin, Jedi Knight Anakin, to gear 12 if you're going to run him with a low star count though on his ship though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right, very nice. So those are the new toys that we got. Of course, they're going to probably release some more characters, and we'll talk about them next time, and we'll follow up on how good these characters are as well, probably on next podcast. You guys ready to wrap it up and talk about what you guys are working on?
I'm ready, because my glass of wine is near the bottom.
All right. So let's get it. Let's start with you then, Avi. What are you working on right now?
I am hoarding gear as much as I possibly can. Of course, Carbontes and stun cuffs and all the usual stuff that everybody is lacking. But I'm using bits of other resources on boosting my ships and pilots, and be a little bit more active in the ship arena, because I've been kind of slacking lately on that. I like the ships, but I've had so much to do in trying to boost up my arena that I've let my ships slide a little bit. So I'm going to start pumping those things up and getting up there and increase my GP a little bit too. And I'm
catching up on you.
Yes, you are. And then for the tunes, I'm just kind of working on the light side scoundrels for each of my accounts, and it's a current project, at least on 2 of the accounts. The other one's still working on a few others. My lowest alt, anyway.
You know why I've been catching up on you, Abby?
Why?
Get in first place in the Sith raid once again. No more zeros. Catching up on some gear 12 plus. Although I'm not getting any unlocks, getting the old ones.
Even in the top 10, which I can get quite often in the Sith raid, I have never gotten an unlock.
Oh, you must be cursed.
I swear to God, it must be, because I have never gotten an unlock. And I on any of my accounts, any of them.
Interesting. I find that hard to believe. Are you sure you didn't miss it?
No, I would have taken a picture and posted it.
Okay. Well, anything else that you're working on?
Not really.
You have multiple accounts. Are you working on anything else in particular on one of your other accounts?
One of them, I'm working a little bit more on the bounty hunters, because that's a bit lacking. That's my lowest alt. The highest one, I'm just trying to get some G12s going. Want to get the pilots? Definitely. Okay. I just got Cad Bane to G12 on that one. So that took a little while to do, because it's simple enough. However, it's just so many things that you have to concentrate on. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. Nice.
All right. So you're working on some crew members on your Blame Nukin account and your Avinash and Avinash. Yes. All right. How about you, Anna? What are you working on?
Currently, the only tunes I have to farm that are available to farm are Aura and Embo, also Sith Fighter. So I am farming them. After that, I am just hoarding Zetas, prestige, gear, everything. Even my mod salvage, everything.
You're doing everything. Okay. You heard it here first. Anything in the game, she's collecting them all. Are you going to become a Pokemon Galaxy of Heroes master?
I'm a completionist. I'm on my way there.
I am as well. And you have a second account. Have you been playing it as often now, or what are you doing with that?
I log on once a day, get my tickets. If we're doing Heroic Sith or any other raids, I make sure I get in on the raids because it's still in another branch of the guild in Mighty Calorian. So got to get in there and help out. Make sure that it's still growing, but a lot slower than my active account, my current main.
Yep. And I am working on, so I recently joined Team Instinct, and so I've been trying to catch up with these guys. They have crazy accounts, and I have been playing all the raids, and I've been grinding all the TW related tunes. Finally got Chewbacca to gear 12. I got Cad Bane to gear 12. I maxed out Bosk, all the stuffs. I even gave Commander Luke Skywalker gear 12 plus. Feels dirty, rebel scum. Everything, and I've been gearing up my Jedi slowly. I finally have my Jedi Revan team, Bastila, Bindo, all those guys gear 12 as well. And I basically had to cut into my hoarded stash. So now I don't have much of a hoarded stash anymore. So I gotta build that up again. So we'll see how that goes, if I can have the perseverance to do that once more. And I think the thing that I'm grinding the most is probably right now in the double drops. I'm trying to get Houndstooth at last star. So that'll be very nice, because with a max Bosk, that's going to be the strongest Houndstooth that you can pretty much have, because I have, all the gear on him. I even put like 2 6-dot mods on him, and he has all the Zetas and all that. So that's going to be one really beefy Houndstooth. So I'm excited for that. So that's going to be nice. Hopefully I can get that almost done after double drops ends. Alrighty. So let's, I think that's everything that we're working on. Thank you everyone so much for listening in to another episode of SwGoH In-Depth Podcast. Hopefully next time Knotty will be feeling better, and maybe we'll get Anna on here to come on. Let us know if you want Anna to come here again on to the next podcast in the comments below. Anna, did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I enjoyed myself very much. I always love talking with you guys.
Definitely. And Abby and I loved having you as well. So from the SwGoH In-Depth Podcast crew, thanks everyone, and we'll catch you next month.
Thank you and good night.
Cheers!
The Force will be with you, always.